What's up, everybody? James Gore here. I'm here to talk to you about something that's very important to me and all of us in Sonoma County. Citizens organized to prepare for emergencies, called COPE. We've been working our tails off since our wildfires in October of 2017 to get our communities ready for whatever comes our way, whether it's another wildfire, whether it's earthquakes, whether it's the floods that we continue to have. And in this case, what we're dealing with now is a whole different scenario. To mitigate or remove the hazard of electrical lines causing fires, our utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E, has undertaken a new program. It's called Public Safety Power Shutoff, PSPS. What that means is that they're going to be shutting down large swaths and areas of electricity, in essence, shutting down the grid in high fire-prone areas to be able to take away that risk of creating a fire. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's be very real. The grid as it currently stands is not a microgrid, it's not a smart grid. It's something that's all over the place. And so if you shut down one area, that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to have to shut down large swaths of other areas where there's high population. So for example, if you need to shut something down up on the top of Chalk Hill Road in North County, you might also shut down the entirety of the town of Windsor, because that's the same transmission lines that actually work through it. It was a really sobering presentation from PG&E. Worst case scenario here in Sonoma County, it could result in a blackout or a brownout of 90% of our population. That's 120,000 consumers of PG&E and 400,000 people. We anticipate and we're seeing that we could be the most impacted and harmed area in PG&E's entire service area. So here's what happened. They came forward. They said, here's what's going to happen. Here's how it could look. In the best case scenario, we'd be giving people 36 to 48 hours of anticipation, knowing that their grid's going to drop down, knowing that we're forecasting high winds and other things. But that doesn't mean we're going to have that amount of time. On the other side, once they shut it down, let's realize, everybody, that this isn't just about your cell phone and about your TV and about your convenience in life. Electricity powers everything that we do. The fuel that you put in your car is powered by pumps that move it from location to location. The water you drink from your taps, if it's a city system, or the water that's pumped out of your wells, is driven by electricity. On and on and on, we have huge impacts to our system. Another one is that, truthfully, without power, cell phone grids only have battery backup for 4 to 8 hours. So we're talking about life needs and necessities. We had a really big discussion of how we do the first thing and the most needed thing, which is we take care of our most vulnerable population in the event of a power outage that lasts more than 1 day and into that 2 to 5 day category. We refer to that as AFN, Access and Functional Needs Individuals. Those are the people who rely on electricity and the machines it powers to basically live. You and I have people like that in our families and in our communities. They primarily live within our cities where there's more services provided, but we got to be ready to go. So, real difficult conversation, because in one sense you have the utility PG&E. We as local government are trying to partner with them to do the best we can, and we're trying to partner with the Office of Emergency Services at the state to provide resources if we need them in the situation of a long blackout or brownout event. On the other side, this is removing one liability, which is the threat of power lines causing a fire, and increasing another liability, which is the threat for people to be able to survive without the things they need and the energy to move those things they need to live their lives. So, how do we make this not a doomsday scenario? Well, first we got to prepare. We got to make sure that we can take care of those access and functional needs individuals, and that we focus on life necessities in a long-term blackout. That means water, food, transportation, and other things. Secondly, there's a whole nother area that can impact people's lives. Think about the amount of small and medium-sized businesses that could go under in a situation like this. Third, we have to look at the convenience issues and other things that we need to manage for, but we have to also understand that there's certain things that we can live through and bear, and other things that we need to just take care of each other. Most of all, this is a wake-up call. So, as I've said before, wake up others, and stay woke. Because what do we have right now? This is the first time that we in this area and throughout the northern area of California have had to go under extreme threat that forces us to go to a preparedness level that we haven't been to before. We now have to prepare for the eventuality of 90% of the people in our community being without power for as long as 5+ days. That means we're testing our systems, but it also means that those of you who are off the system, who live in your homes, you gotta take care of your family. You gotta make sure you have provisions and rations. You gotta make sure you have water enough for 3 to 5 days, and you should think about getting a generator. Personally, as a local leader, I'm doing everything I can to partner with these institutions and my colleagues to set up the systems in place to approach and take care of the most at-needs individuals. But also, as a landowner, as a husband and a father, I'm making sure I have water, I'm making sure I have food, and I'm making sure that I purchase that dreadfully expensive generator that I need to have so that I can have water on my property. So make yourself an example for your community. Be resilient from your community, and if you do that, all of us will be better off. Thank you.